ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमो नित्यं भद्रकाल्यै नमो नमः वेद वेदांत वेदांग विद्यास्थानेभ्य एव च सरस्वती महाभागे विद्ये कमललोचने विद्यारूपे विशालाक्षी विद्यां देहि नमोऽस्तुते यदक्षरं पदं भ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं च यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देवी प्रसीद परमेश्वरी श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः श्रीविद्योपासनासक्तं श्रीविद्यापीठभूषणं श्रीविद्याभिनवं वन्दे श्रीकृष्णानन्दसद्गुरुम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रीविद्या पातु मां हरि ओम हरि In the last class, we stopped at a very interesting note. We were looking at the Karana Sharira, the causal body. But before we go in a little more detail about this Karana Sharira, a small short recap of the Sthula Sharira. What is the Sthula Sharira? It is the gross body. Sthula means gross, that which made up of the 5 great elements, Panchamahabhutas: space, air, fire, water and earth. Somewhere a mixture of this has gone through a process of grossification, which we call Panchika. And then what we see is the world of matter. Whatever that is gross, that is tangible, is what we call Sthula Sharira. mountains or this body which is touched. It's made up of matter. It is seen through the senses. And that's how we identify. Then, and of course, we saw that all of the sthula sharira usually go through modifications. They change. Over time, they change. So they don't remain the same all the time. Whichever sthula sharira belonging to any animal, plant, or living being, as we say, even our own bodies. And we saw asti jayate is there. What happens? The fact that, the child, the fetus has been conceived, existence has arrived, it has happened, and then slowly it is born. The child is born, then vardate grows, matures, then you see the wear and tear. Because of wear and tear, there is a withering, there is a drying up, there is a growing old, whatever you call it, those modifications you see, and then it comes to an end also. Vinashya. So these modifications are seen. So this is sthula shariram. This he explains because Bhagavan Shankara says Atma is other than sthula sharira. Okay. Then we go on to understanding it is again other than sthula, sukshma shariram. What is sukshma shariram? The very word sukshmam says it is subtle. You cannot simply see it. You may not be able to touch it, feel it. So, what is this sukshma? I know, we all know we have a mind. We know that it works well sometimes, it doesn't work well sometimes. But have we seen the mind? We have not seen the mind, right? We all have seen the hardware ear. This we call, when we say the ear, there is this sthula ear, that which is gross and which is noticeable. And then there is what we call faculty of hearing, the capacity to hear. That is different from the instrument itself. And that is sukshma. Isn't it? So that which is made up of the 5 great elements, Pancha Mahabhutas, just like your gross body. But it has not undergone process of gross. So that pañcakośas has not happened. But somewhere, certain gunas come together of the 5 great elements, and it is also born as the sthula sharira, born out of the good karmas that we have done. It's very important. Sat karma janyam. Very clearly he has said. All of this is born. Your sthula sharira, your sukshma sharira is born out of the sat karma. And then, yes, he says it is made up of, here he says 17 factors or constituents are there. It is constituted of these 17 items. What is that? He says the pancha, 5 jnanendriyas, organs of perception, sense organs of perception. Then pancha karmendriya, 5 sense organs of action. Pancha vayu, pancha pranas are there, which are the physiological functions, which we will also look into. And then he says there is mind, there is a buddhi. So all of this make up to 17. Now here, as I've told before also, some people call the ahankar, mind, intellect and ahankar. So then they make up for 18, right? So don't be confused, 17 or 18. This thought that comes, in fact, all the mind and the thoughts that come in the intellect are also always related to I only. So here he has not differentiated that. Okay. So there are 17. And then we saw that about the karmendriyas, he had something to tell us. And what is that? He says that, yeah, we know with the ears we listen, With the nose, we smell, so we know the functioning of each of these sense organs of perception. And while we perceive, we get the experience, or we know about knowledge about the world around us is received because of these five sense organs of perception, the mind and the intellect. Because of this, we get it. Now, we know the various functions. So we also speak of the object of this sense organ. As in, what does the eye do? It sees. Seeing is its function. What does it see? Object kya hai? Rupa, form, color, size, shape, all this. It grasps. What does the ear do? Its function is listening, hearing. And what is the object? Sound. Any sound. Any sound, it will report. Like that, the smell. The nose also, any smell it takes it. So the object itself becomes any smell and the function is smelling. Like that. Of the skin is touch, feeling and touch. And what else is left? Hearing, tongue. Tongue as an organ of perception, its job, function is to taste. And whatever food. No, object is taste. Tasting is the function. And here he has mentioned that there are devatas, presiding deities. All these functions are happening wherever there is a live sthula sharira. These functions are taking place. And then there is a presiding deity who handles this department, individual department. See, Advaita Vedanta is that there is only God. Okay, don't confuse. We are not saying that there are so many gods. Each one, like we saw, Government of India, it rules over every state. It may, the party which is ruling at the center may not have a majority in the state, but the state is governed by the Government of India, whatever rules that applies. So here, everyone comes under its purview only. You may be the local commissioner, the city commissioner here, but you have to report the law, government, Indian government law is all pervading everywhere. The functions are different, each one. So, like this, we have presiding deities, and so for each one of them, like for, let us say, ears. Which sense is perceived? Sound. Sound is, and hearing is his job. And the deity is Drigdevata, directions. Then you have skin. The deity is Vayu. Eyes, Surya. Tongue, Varuna. Nose, nostrils, Ashwini Kumaras. These are the devatas. This is all we must just know. Okay? Then we come to the sense organs of action, which is also here, though we are talking about hand, leg, and all this, which seems sthula in nature, we are talking of action. The capacity for acting is sukshma. So here, this functioning, this capacity to function this act is considered sukshma sharira. There also we saw the five sense organs of action: hands, legs, tongue. Then we saw anus and the genitals, reproductive organs. Okay. And the devata for each. Now, hands, what has the hands to do? Has to grasp, to hold. I may have a hand, but don't have the capacity to hold anything, no energy. So what is allowing this hand to hold an object is sukshma. This he has differentiated. We very often take a lot of things for granted and we overlook this particular thing. So here, tongue as a sense organ of action, what is its function? To speak. Speech is the function. So, like that, legs for locomotion, movement, and you may have legs but cannot walk. That can happen, right? So again, that is the difference. Anus is for, we saw, elimination of all waste. Throwing out, letting go. And this is required. And then the reproductive function. This year, Bhagavan says the function is procreation only, but the feeling is anandam. If it was not for this anandam, nobody would want to reproduce. There is a feeling attached to it. So this. Now here, presiding deities for every of these functions. Now you will see, among all animals you have, maybe they have a capacity of 1 or 2 or more, and in lesser degrees or in a different combination of all of this happen. Some may, their movement, their grasping, their seeing, their hearing, their smelling will be at decibels or levels different from each other animal, depending on what they require for their survival and for their experience of the loka, right? But each of these functioning has a presiding deity, and so for the tongue here, when it is used as a organ of speech, Agni is the devata. For the hands, Indra, legs, Vishnu, anus, Mrityu, genitals, Prajapati. So this is the presiding deity of these 5. And these 5 are, karmendriyas. They make up of the sukshma shari. Now we shall go to the causal body. Karana shari. Karana shariram kim? It is anirvachya, inexplicable. It is beginningless. It is avidya rupam, in the form of ignorance. And Sharira dvayasya karanam it becomes. It is the sole cause of the Sthula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira. We will see this in detail. Then it is Sat Swarupa Ajnanam, ignorant of one's true nature. This is seen here. And it is free from duality. Nirvikalpaka rupa. Yadasti, whatever that remains like this, tat karana shariram. Now here, what is this karana shariram? We will see that it is anirvachyan, inexplicable. You know why this is? Because if I say, and it is avidya rupam, in the form of ignorance, does ignorance have any form? Can we say this is the form of ignorance? No. Ignorance, it's just one homogeneous thing. In fact, I don't even know, does it exist? I'm not even aware that it exists, isn't it? But is it non-existent? It cannot be non-existent. Why? I'm suffering the consequences of ignorance now. I'm seeing the ill effect, I'm seeing the effects, and usually sorrow is brought about by ignorance. So I can't say it is non-existent. But as I'm here, do I know this is ignorance? No, I don't know. I only know it as a consequence. I'm in the dark, I enter the room, and I hurt my leg. Why? I didn't know there was a table. Not knowing is there, but I didn't know. After I hurt my leg, I knew that I didn't know there was a table. You're getting it? So, from when did you not know? That question doesn't apply. We saw that last time. Do you know Sanskrit? Another thing. Ignorance is always related to an object. Okay? Do you know Sanskrit? I don't know Sanskrit. Do you know cycling? I don't know. Ignorance and an object, they are related. That's it. Do you know English? I don't know. Right? So this way, it is related to an object. Ignorance of computers, ignorance. But by itself, it is objectless. Ignorance is there. Of what? Usually we ask of what? Because it has to be related to an object. Oh, it's just ignorance. By itself, it means nothing. That is why it's very difficult to explain what it is. It is always related to an object. By itself, it is nothing. So you can't call it non-existent because you suffer it manifests, and even in the gross level, this, and even at the subtle body also suffers when you don't know something. You are upset. I wish I knew this before, I would have acted right, isn't it? When you realize there was a mistake, it has already happened. And through that experience of sorrow or difficulty, or then you say, I wish I knew. That means I was ignorant of it, I didn't know. Got it? So it is always related to an object and its effect is definitely felt. In fact, all sorrow is nothing. That is why you read. There is so much said. It's a very powerful thing. Ignorance, by itself is nothing. You can't even explain what it is, but it does great damage, great. People say that even genius has limitations, but stupidity doesn't have any. No form, nothing. It's just limitless, it seems. And many thinkers have spoken like this. Don't underestimate the power of ignorant people in large groups. We all say no, mob psychology. Nobody knows what is happening, but everybody is acting. All action arises from there in ignorance. Dangerous this is. People say ignorance is bliss. Its effects are very painful. We don't realize that. And as we said, it is anadi, which means nobody asks. I don't know Sanskritam. From when do you not know? That question doesn't. I have never known. Ignorance of Sanskritam has always been there, right? Beginningless. It's almost seeming like it's talking of God or something. But what happens? Why it cannot be my true nature? Why is it not the Atma? Because Bhagavan Shankara is saying Atma is other than Pula, Sukshma, and Karana Sharira. This is called Shariram. There is a body of ignorance. In fact, great philosophers, thinkers say, real knowledge is in knowing how ignorant you are. It doesn't come from humility, understand? It is very humble to say that. But to truly recognize that I don't know anything. This ignorance, the more you learn, the more you have to know. It's just so much. Brilliant. But here, like I said, it comes to an end. So it cannot be the truth. Got it? Because Atma, the truth of who I am, if there is something like this, it has to be consistent. It cannot end in. It has to be changeless. Now here, I don't know, I've never learned Sanskrit, but I have started taking classes. I've joined, I'm enjoying. So what is happening? Little by little, ignorance is changing now. I cannot say I no longer know, I know little. I'm basic student. Then after 3 years, I'm able to converse in Sanskrit. Wow. What has happened to ignorance of Sanskrit? It is dead. It's gone. If it has gone, it cannot be the truth. So, Atma is that which is other than this, because it has to exist at all periods of time, and it has to be changeless, right? So ignorance comes to an end. Another thing about this is ignorance, you know. See, in ignorance only all my action is born. Why? That is why it is called that it is the karana of all my actions, and it is karana of my stula sharira as well as uh, sukshma sharira. Now, there is a very famous example. You all have heard. What is that? Raju Sarpa. In Vedanta classes, you would have heard snake and the rope. So you see a rope and it is a little dark. It is in the evening time. And what do you think it is? You're scared. You know you have knowledge of a snake, but you see the rope, but you don't know it is a rope. You think it is a snake, and you act accordingly, isn't it? So feelings of fear is coming, which is sukshma, and that fear is prompting you to act. You are running away, isn't it? So not knowing the true nature, what are you doing? You're acting, you're feeling, everything is coming. There is another example also which is given, that of silver and mother pearl. In the daytime, you're in the beach, suppose, and there is a shining object, mother of pearl, because we took twilight in the dusk time. Let's take daytime. What happens? And what happens? This person is walking on the beach and sees something shining. He says, "Oh, I found silver. I found a silver coin." He's looking around. Is there anybody? Because I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to make some money. He's already, no, desire has risen. He's planning, scheming. What is he going to do with it? He quickly bends down, picks up that coin, puts it in his pocket, and looks up. Nobody has seen him. Wow, wonderful. Today, God's grace. I'm going to the jeweler, right? So he goes to the jeweler and says, "I found a silver coin. Please, can you give me money for this coin?" So this fellow inspects, he says, "Yeah, this is not a silver coin. It looks very much like silver, but this is..." Oh, he's very disappointed. So see, all his dreams and ambitions came about because he didn't know the true nature of that mother of pearl piece that he picked up. He thought it to be something else. So see, ignorance can create all. Ignorance can make us feel attached, even this infatuation and this attraction and attachment, which is all from the sukshma. It is feelings, mind, na? Emotions are coming, and it is making us act also. Where is it coming from? Ignorance, first of all, of who I am. Not that is why it is Sat Swarupa Jnana, that my nature is itself Sat Swarupa. Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa, I don't know. Therefore, I begin everything as the samsara. So here, this, and what, no, the basic thing is, if ignorance is always related to something, but it is itself is not an object, no, it is objectless. So what happens? I am the locus. When I say I am talking of myself, the ego self. I am the locus where it stands, isn't it? I exist, therefore I can be ignorant, right? So see, all this is important for us to understand this. Why? Then here is where our inquiry will come. Then I truly need to know, isn't it? So here he says this is Swat Swarupa Jnanam. He also says, Bhagavan says, it's nirvikalpa karu. That is, it is homogeneous. It doesn't have parts. It has no difference, no duality. Which means what? Your ignorance and my ignorance is the same. It cannot be different in nature. Object of ignorance might be, different. You don't know Sanskrit, I don't know French. So object can be, but not knowing is the same. Not knowing is not knowing. I don't know. That's all it is. There is nothing. So it is homogeneous. This, and it is nirvikalpa, without any thoughts. Obviously, it cannot, it's by itself it's nothing. So therefore there is no thought, no vikalpa there. So this ignorance can be destroyed by knowledge. Once I have knowledge about the object, then ignorance of that is destroyed. So here, when I am in that path and I see the rope and I am scared and I am now wondering, I am in duvida, what to do? Should I run? Should I call for help? That is when another person walks this place and then he says, hey, don't worry. I know it's a rope because I cross this path every day. And I know, let me prove it to you. He will remove a torch, put it on the rope, and he will say, no, what if all these days you saw a rope, but today there is a snake? You won't be convinced. So he will actually pull the rope up, hold it, and show. See for yourself. Then you touch it. Oh, what has happened at that time? Knowledge is coming. Ignorance was there of the rope. Now you have got knowledge of the rope. Because of knowledge of rope, what has happened? Snake has disappeared. But was the snake there in the first place? Wasn't, right? But that you come to know later. So ignorance is this. This is there everywhere, in everyone, in every living being. If all our actions and thinking and wanting and desiring and ambition, everything arises from this body. This is the Karana. Okay? So we have three Shariras, Tula Sukshma and Karana Sharira. Atma is Tadvyatiriktam. It is other than these three. Now we shall look at the three states. States of experience. Avasthatrayam kim? Jagrat Swapna Sushuptyavastaha. Here he has said, what is Atma? Atma is that which is Avasthatraya Sakshi. So, if it is Avasthatraya Sakshi, what are the three Avasthas? Sakshi is witness. Now we will see Avasthatrayam Kim. What are the three Traya Avastha Kim? He says Jagrat Avastha, which is waking, Swapna Avastha, which is dream, and Sushupti Avastha, which is deep sleep state of experience. These are the three states of experience of every human being. Now we will go into detail of what is waking state and what is dream and what is deep sleep. Jagrat Avastha ka. What is this Jagrat Avastha? He says here, Shrotradi Jnanendriyahi Shabdadi Vishayascha Jnayate Iti Ya Sa Jagrat Avastha. Stula Sharira Bhimani Atma Vishwa Ityuchyate. Here he says, Jagrat Avastha, the waking state, is that state of experience in which the sense objects like sound, etc., are perceived. When you say sound, etc., everything else, sight, touch, smell, all of that. Because it is all, when I said no, Shotra, Adi means you have to understand that it is all of them. The state of experience in which sense objects like sound are perceived through the sense organs like the ears, respective organs, respective objects are found. This is the waking state. Have we ever thought of waking state this way? No? You just think of when I was awake, we all speak. I was awake. We are awake now, hopefully. So if we are awake, some of us master the art, sleeping with our eyes open, you know. It can happen because I have also gone through. We used to have lectures that will go on for three hours. We used to learn to keep the eyes open and we had to look at the Acharya. This online class was not there. Acharya isn't right in front of us and knows who's struggling to keep their eyes open. When we are really struggling this way, we can switch off the video. We have that siddhi with us. We didn't have all that siddhi. We have the power. No? No. So this we call waking state. Now we never realized that waking state, according to the Shastra, look at the definition. It is a state of experience when all the objects of the sense organs are perceived. That's it. Very different from what we would have thought is waking state. Or probably we don't even bother defining it because it is so common, we take it for granted, right? But a scientist does not do this. The rishis were great scientists. They have to define it clearly for our understanding. Because here he says, Atma is Sakshi of this. I never thought there is, I am there. No, I am awake and I'm watching. So what is this I then? Right? Therefore, we need this analysis. And then here, he says that Sakshi is Atma. Now, this Atma, which is identified with the gross body, Sthula Sharira Bhimani, identified with Sthula Shariram, is called Vishwa. Just this function is happening. Just become aware. Do not bother. Why I'm telling is, Sthula Shariram, 1 point. What was that? That this is a counter, isn't it? It's a transaction that is happening. Waking state में क्या हो रहा है? Transaction हो रहा है with the world. I'm receiving something. I am also point of giving something. Somebody is watching me. Somebody is hearing me. As I am listening to them, this transaction is going on through this body and through this body only. Waking state. Interacting with the loka. Here what happens, I take this to be very real because all my senses are awake. And what happens is, I go to sleep every day. After I wake up, seems to be a continuity to all this. So, this is it. So, for anybody you ask, waking state is the real state, isn't it? Dream state, we all just write it off. We'll look at what is dream state, but we write it off as imagination or dream or illusion because it lasts also very little. And we just, I had a dream and got it. Finished, gone. But this thing, it stays for a longer time and it continues. It seems to continue. I wake up and it's still continuing. So this is real. What about deep sleep? Deep sleep is what? Nothing. It's not even an experience because we don't experience anything. So I take my experience through my senses and Sukshma Shariram only to be real. Waking state. Here. And what happens? I enjoy while I'm interacting. There is this, I am speaking, I am listening, I am doing, isn't it? So I am going through some experience, I am enjoying, I am suffering. All is happening because there is this body, and in and through this body it is happening. This transaction, it seems very solid and real. Therefore, give this maximum points. reality is this. Because we are all experiencing, right? So here, there is this sense of kartrutvam and bhoktrutvam. What is that? Kartrutvam is sense of doership. I am the doer. I am doing all this. Because I have hands, legs, I have a mind, I'm thinking, I'm doing all. Karma is happening through me, as well as jnana also is happening. Either I'm receiving or I'm giving, whichever way. So this enjoyership is there. Bhoktritva is also there. What is bhoktritva? Experience. Because this body allows me to experience. Okay? Now, there is only one thing that he has mentioned here. Atma that is attached to the gross body is called Vishwa. Okay? We will just keep it as a note, mark it somewhere. That's it. Atma. Now, why I'm saying is, when we come to the collective, no, then it makes a lot of sense. As of now, let us just leave it at this. Because Atman is one, and all the functioning of experience is also another one. Because we have talked of functions now, isn't it? Of grasping, of moving, of listening, of speaking, of tasting. See the amount of things. All of this makes this beautiful human experience for us. Isn't it so beautiful? This whole creation by Bhagavan. So many things are happening and we're taking everything for granted. Our experience is enhanced. You know, the food that we eat, you know, nowadays there's a lot of, and there is a whole science of aesthetics which deals with all of these. So when food is served, how you want, they say different kinds of food which should be colorful and very well placed. So, you know, you have to lay the table and the colors have to be different. There has to be a red color, there has to be yellow color and a green color seen in the table, buffet table. Then they say it's good. And the smells have to be, the aroma. That's why the coffee lovers will tell you. First thing is the aroma of the coffee, which should be, so the smell, right? You don't say, I want to drink coffee, or I don't want. But it all enhances it. It's all part of that experience, isn't it? So all of my senses, sense organs of perception as well as action, they come together to create this experience for me, which is so beautiful, which is beautiful, which is also sorrowful because I am ignorant. So all of that I'm enjoying, I'm experiencing, I'm suffering. So bhoktritvam and kartrutvam come in the waking state. Okay. Now we shall go to the dream state. Ah, I love the dream state. Now see, there are other, for short whiles there might be individuals can go through, like daydreaming. In the day, it's supposed to be in the waking, but you know, Tattvabodha class sometimes becomes so heavy, I go off into another world. That can happen. Or I'm dreaming of something and that. It allows me that. You know, that can happen. Or there could be one who could be a sleepwalker. You know, in sleep, he gets up and something. Those are very momentary and those are experiences that are, but it's not common to all. And it's not happening all. So we don't speak of those. These are three broad, absolutely broad experiences. So the dream state, what is that? Swapnavastha keti chet jagrat avasthayam yad drishtam yad shrutam tad janita vasanaya nidra samaye yah prapanchah pratiyate sa swapnavastha. Sukshma Sharira Atma Taijasa Ityuchya. For Swapnavastha Keti Chet. If you ask what is Swapnavastha, what is this dream state? Swapna is dream state. The answer is in the world that is projected by in sleep from the impressions born out of what is seen Yat drishtva, yat shrutam, what is heard in the waking state is called dream state. Which means what? In the waking state, I'm seeing lot of things, I'm doing lot of things, I'm hearing lot of things. And psychologists will tell us, not everything we register immediately. Our conscious mind is registering only that is important to us immediately. For today or for the next month, or which is for my survival, which is for according to my plans. But there are many other things that are going on, which is registering itself, but I'm not even aware of it. I'm taking it. My subconscious is already taking it. So impressions are made because of what I am seeing, I am going through, what I'm thinking. All of this is happening, right, in my Jagrat Avastha. So what happens? Certain impressions are gathered. And then what? While I'm sleeping, these impressions I see. These are simply played in the subtle body, experiencing it in the subtle body. I am not aware of my gross body, but in the dream, it's a vision that I'm having. What I'm aware, I have a body in the dream. I could be much younger, I could be much older, and it may make no sense. It is illogical. It is just 2, 3 experiences, situations put together. I see something. I'm seeing somebody from my past life, somebody from my childhood friend suddenly coming. And no sense, but somewhere impressions are being made. These impressions formed, when they are very deep. If you have allowed and you don't. Swami Tejomananji would give an example, gave one example once. He said there is one man, morning traffic, he is caught up in traffic, he's driving to his workplace. And then at the signal, he is waiting and he sees one very full girl. She is crossing the road, zebra crossing. And oh, so his eyes have gone there. See, what happens is certain interest within us only will make us see also something. So he's looking, she's wearing a mini skirt, she's wearing stiletto heels, and she's crossing as a very nice, graceful walk. He's looking at that, and it's made an impression. Now he is not conscious of it. He has to go to work, so he's also got many other thoughts. So he drives along green signal and he goes ahead. He goes ahead, and suddenly they are braking. There is a traffic jam. And then what does he see? Oh, there is an elephant. Oh my God. Why do people allow these elephants here? And he's looking at it, and the elephant is over. And then he has to wait for the elephant to cross. Then he drives on. He has gone to his work. Everything has happened as is usual. He has conducted himself. He's come home. He's tired. He's ready to sleep. And then in his dream, he dreams that night. He sees an elephant gracefully crossing the zebra cross. It is wearing a mini skirt with stilettos. And at that time, that dream is real for him. He is there watching all that. For him, that is the waking state, isn't it? Then he wakes up and he says, what was that? Elephant with stilettos and mini skirt. I understand. Illogical. And then he said, it's a dream, isn't it? And it was short-lived. Very often, it is said that all those vasanas that are there, which don't require to manifest. There are many desires and even experiences that we have to go through, but it doesn't have the power to manifest in the waking state. Such are completely exhausted in dreams. Okay, so the mind simply creates it, sustains it, and it is over. Finish. In the subtle body itself, it is gone. So this ātman, which is a sakshi, it is watching the dream. The one connecting at that time, he's totally identified with the sukshma sharira. Meaning, suppose I'm seeing a dream. Then I'm not a waker, I'm a dreamer. So I am sleeping in my bed, but I'm not aware of my body sleeping in that bed. Because if I'm aware of my body, I'll be in the waking state. I'm not awake. I am in the dream, identified as myself as when I was just a 10-year-old girl. I am identifying with that stula sharira of that, which is I am connected with the sukshma body, not the stula sharira. So this sakshi, which is connected with the sukshma sharira, is called taijas. So atma connected, identified with stula sharira as Vishwa. Atma identified with the sukshma sharira is taijasa. Now let us see what is the deep sleep state, which is loved by all, isn't it? Atha sushupti avastha ka aham kimapi na janami sukhena maya nidra anubhuya iti sushupti avastha. Karana sharira abhimani atma pragya ityuchyate. And what is this deep sleep state now? That state about which one says later, I did not know anything. I enjoyed good sleep. Sukhena maya nidra. Nidra anubhuya. I experienced sukhena. But when? Afterwards is the deep sleep state. This is a universal state. This is like ignorance only, no? Why I'm saying? Because in that state, are you experiencing anything? I don't know anything. There is a question of experience, isn't it? How is that? And do I know that I don't know anything at that time? I don't know. Acha, forget about not knowing. Am I enjoying? Deep sleep I love. But when I'm sleeping, do I know that I'm so happily sleeping? The moment somebody says that, if some you are you awake, and if they say no, I'm sleeping, no, they're not sleeping, right? Nobody will tell you I'm sleeping. So you don't know your that super experience. You don't know at that time, but you have woken up. What do you say? I slept very well. I enjoyed. Then who is there who was witnessing that there is no experience? That means there is a state, and the stula sharira, no, was not, the atma was not identified with the stula sharira also. The atma is not identified with the sukshma sharira. The mind is also not playing. There is no dream. Even if it is elephant, let it come. No, nothing. Nothing. And this is universal for everybody. Not because we are learning Tattvabodha, this experience is specially for us. One who doesn't know Tattvabodha, one who doesn't know Hinduism, one who doesn't know anything or is an atheist. Also, his deep sleep experience, you ask him, it will be the same, homogeneous. So, this, if you see, if you understand one thing, the three states come and goes, and waking is there, and then I go to sleep. See, again, dream, you may not dream, you may dream and not remember your dream. This can happen. But we all go through a dream state, right? But when you're dreaming, you are not sleeping, nor are you awake. When you are awake, you are not dreaming, nor are you sleeping. This is waking state we are in, okay? We are not sleeping, nor are we dreaming. What about deep sleep state? In deep sleep state, we are not awake, nor are we dreaming. Which means one state negates the other. One is there and it is not there. If it is not there, then it cannot be ātman. But there is one witness to all the three states, right? That witness hardly is noticed in the waking state, is partially noticed in the dream state, and is completely noticed, and that too if we make an effort to know it. Isn't it? Otherwise, how do we know? Do we bother? I was not there. How do I know that I slept well? When the ego, I'm saying ego now. What I'm saying is when I'm engaging with my senses and my mind and everything is in full swing, the counter is ready and transactions are happening, I say, I am doing, I am, all of that is it. I. Then what happens in dream state? I don't know where my sthula sharira is, but I am identified with the sukshma sharira. I become the dreamer at that time. Then when I wake up from the dream, I say, that was a dream. Now, what have I become? A waker again. When I realize I am suddenly aware of the sthula sharira, and then I say, it was in my mind. It was a dream, not true. Then I say, let me go to sleep. I want to sleep. I'm sleeping very well, and I am not interacting, but that I do not know. When I wake up, I say, I did not interact at all. There was no word. I was dead to this world. Who tells you you were dead to this world? There is a sakshi which has been witness to that state. Otherwise, you wouldn't know, isn't it? If waking was true, you would only go from waking to waking. You would never have known deep sleep. So, this sakshi is the ātman. That is why Bhagavan says, Avasthatraya sakshi is ātman. It is other than the three bodies, sthula, sukshma, and karana sharira. In fact, in these three avasthas, if you notice, the sthula and sukshma are in complete manifestation, or it's working fully well. All the counters are open, busy day for the sthula and sukshma in the waking state. Then, in the dream state, sthula sharira takes rest, sukshma sharira is working. In deep sleep state, both these sthula and sukshma as though have entered into karana sharira. What is karana sharira? It is filled with ignorance. It is a homogeneous state, isn't it? And the morning, what happens when you wake up? As though from karana sharira, of not knowing anything, of having slept well, your actions and everything will begin again. So it is giving birth, it is becoming the cause for sthula and sukshma sharira, therefore it is called karana. Karana, it is the karana of the other two. Ignorance is the karana of these two. So, knowing this and this Atma, which is connected to the Karana Sharira, which is identified with the Karana Sharira, self-identified with the causal body, is called Prajna. Prajna, actually, not Prajna. Prajna. So, this is important here. This, we will, you just mull over these. I mean, why I'm saying this is because we have never looked at our states of experiences this way. We only talk in psychological terms or in terms of what we experience through our body as the state, right? Now you look at it from this state of what the Shastras is speaking. So you will come to see maybe the perspective changes a little bit. So depending on which Sthula Sharira you are in, you will experience life that way. Depending on what your Sukshma Sharira, how the component works, the functioning of it happens, you experience accordingly. Isn't it? And you see that a family of four, family who live together under the same roof, are brought up under the same kind of conditionings and social status and everything. They go for a movie. They're going for the same movie and they're seated in the same place, four seats. They're watching the movie. Each one of them reacts to the movie very differently. Isn't it? So this way, you see how depending on the sthula and your sukshma, experiences are also made up of that. One thing common about everyone, which avastha? It is the deep sleep avastha. In deep sleep avastha, everyone goes through the same experience. What is that? I don't know anything. And in fact, everybody loves to go through this avastha. It is this avastha that rejuvenates you, energizes you. Tell a person, or see, people want to sleep. Every living being wants to sleep. Every animal also wants to go to sleep. You cannot stay awake for a long time. Jagrat avastha is reality. So I want to keep awake only. The body will give up, the senses will give up. It requires to go into the Karana Sharira and then come out for it to be kept alive. Isn't it? So this is something that everybody loves to do. And the Shastras give it a beautiful definition, which is so perfect. It cannot be refuted, this thing. It cannot be challenged. You tell me if there is something else about Sushupti Avastha. Isn't it? It's a common thing. Everybody loves it because that gives them happiness. Right? But I am not aware of it at that time. It's only afterwards that I become aware. So ignorance is a part of this Sushupti Avastha. So now we know this also comes from the Karana Sharira. Isn't it? So with this, we will conclude today. Next class, we will take up the koshas and go further. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shanti.